Abracadabra, create what you speak with iLan Azoulai. Hello, welcome to Abracadabra, create what you speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist for you who are ready to reclaim your inner power. Welcome. This is an empowerment program, a program where I bring artists, scientists, activists, people from all over the world doing what they love and what they connect to. And everything is with love and no fear. We are in the midst of a revolution that is about reclaiming our inner power, our inner strength, our inner well-being. And our well-being includes, if not is centered on our consciousness well-being. We're in the midst of what I call the Quranic era, where we are being enslaved by an ideology that seeks to reduce us to mindless operating humans, turning us from humans to humanoids. This 0.3% of elite group of people are herding most of society to separation, isolation, and want to create chaos, so we will operate out of fear. What is actually happening is that they are creating a social Stockholm syndrome, where society believes that governments and their employers are our saviors, so we can follow them blindly. They are afraid of our own God-given power to think critically, to be self-aware and self-conscious. Because once we think critically, once we all realize that love, kindness, and compassion are indeed the bread and butter of our existence, and flourishing, their power will be gone and their power will be reduced to rubble. Now, let's flip the coin and look at our own way of living within this construct, us humans and animals. How do we treat animals? How do we treat those who cannot speak? How do we treat those who trusted us? How do we treat those who have been here before us? As we know, human was created after all creation was already in place, after trees, plants, and animals were created. To teach us one thing: treat them with love, kindness, and respect, and don't think that you can torture them merely for your own pleasure. My guest today is Jane Halevy Moreno, or as her nickname describes her, Le Resistance, or in French, La Résistance, who is a human and animal rights activist and a makeup artist, and also a makeup teacher. Jane founded the International Anti-Fur Coalition, the IAFC, in 2006, which is an animal rights movement. Abracadabra, create what you speak with iLan Azoulai. Hello, welcome to Abracadabra, create what you speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist for you who are ready to reclaim your inner power. Welcome. This is an empowerment program, a program where I bring artists, scientists, activists, people from all over the world doing what they love and what they connect to. And everything is with love and no fear. We are in the midst of a revolution that is about reclaiming our inner power, our inner strength, our inner well-being. And our well-being includes, if not is centered on our consciousness well-being. We're in the midst of what I call the Quranic era, where we are being enslaved by an ideology that seeks to reduce us to mindless operating humans, turning us from humans to humanoids. This 0.3% of elite group of people are herding most of society to separation, isolation, and want to create chaos, so we will operate out Abracadabra, create what you speak with iLan Azoulai. Hello, welcome to Abracadabra, create what you speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist for you who are ready to reclaim your inner power. Welcome. This is an empowerment program, a program where I bring artists, scientists, activists, people from all over the world doing what they love and what they connect to. And everything is with love and no fear. We are in the midst of a revolution that is about reclaiming our inner power, our inner strength, our inner well-being. And our well-being includes, if not is centered on our consciousness well-being. We're in the midst of what I call the Quranic era, where we are being enslaved by an ideology that seeks to reduce us to mindless operating humans, turning us from humans to humanoids. This 0.3% of elite group of people are herding most of society to separation, isolation, and want to create chaos, so we will operate out of fear. What is actually happening is that they are creating a social Stockholm syndrome, where society believes that governments and their employers are our saviors, so we can follow them blindly. They are afraid of our own God-given power to think critically, to be self-aware and self-conscious. Because once we think critically, once we all realize that love, kindness, and compassion are indeed the bread and butter of our existence and flourishing, their power will be gone and their power will be reduced to rubble. Now, let's flip the coin and look at our own way of living within this construct, us humans and animals. How do we treat animals? How do we treat those who cannot speak? How do we treat those who trusted us? How do we treat those who have been here before us? As we know, human was created after all creation was already in place, after trees, plants, and animals were created. To teach us one thing: treat them with love, kindness, and respect, and don't think that you can torture them merely for your own pleasure. My guest today is Jane Halevy Moreno, or as her nickname describes her, Le Resistance, or in French, La Résistance, who is a human and animal rights activist and a makeup artist, and also a makeup teacher. Jane founded the International Anti-Fur Coalition, the IAFC, in 2006, which is an animal rights movement focusing on the atrocities of the fur trade, in which at least 1 billion rabbits and over 85 million other animals are brutally murdered every year for their fur. I'm really excited to have Jane here. So let me bring her on here. Hi, Jane. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here.
And thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a much needed topic to talk about because, we're focusing on so much that is happening in the world, and it feels like we keep forgetting to include the animals.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
tell me about more about what you do, about the Anti-Fur Coalition, and what you're doing, and tell us a
Mm,
little bit more. I think you'll do a better job of that.
Okay. Well, like you said, there is so much pain with animals, so much suffering, and it's very hard to touch. All the you need to focus to be good and to try to improve things. You need to do some focus. And my focus has always been not always, but since 2006, it had been about fur, all the fur-bearing animals, and all the suffering going on there. It's known that the fur industry is one of the cruelest industry in the world, and I think that's one of the reasons why I started International Anti-Fur Coalition. But also the trigger was this horrible. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's really a horrible footage of a raccoon being skinned alive. Was in 2006. It was
I haven't seen that. I cannot bring myself to watch that. So
yeah, that was terrible. Yeah, And this footage changed my life. After watching it, I was obsessing about doing something. And I know that the animals don't have time, and we have to act fast. And that's how I started to focus on the fur industry. And in Israel, we had been doing many protests. And then in Israel, we decided that, well, to do protests against the Chinese embassy. It just in Israel, it's not it's maybe a good joke between the two Chinese people, but that's it. So we decided to, with a great team like Mitzi Ocean and Denise and Zohar and so many great friends, and Yom Tov. I know that you know Yom Tov. Yom Tov was also at the beginning, and yeah,
Yeah, Yom Tov has been a guest on the program, and he's doing a wonderful
Yeah,
job
I
in
know you know him. It's
bringing awareness and yeah.
Exactly. He's a very good friend, and he helped us so much also. And we had a campaign also with Yom Tov. I can talk about it later. But so we decided to do simultaneous demonstrations, but all over the Chinese embassies. And we had something like 200 demonstrations all over the world in the same day. That was on 2006, and that's how we decided to. We saw that it was really, really very effective, and many journalists talked about it in China, and we decided to stay together, and that's how International Anti-Fur Coalition started.
Wow.
That's how we started, and since then we are helping each other to pass bills to ban the sale of fur, which we started here in Israel in 2009. We started here a bill that banned the sales of fur, but in Israel we had a lot of troubles. It took us 12 years to pass the bill.
Well, I mean, Israel, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I remember reading the report, Israel is #1 in the world per capita meat consumption, for meat consumption.
Yeah,
so it's kind of hard to
Tel Aviv. It's true that Tel Aviv was among the most friendly, vegan friendly cities, and we are great at animal rights in Israel. It's true, and also we were, by the way, I think one of the first country to ban the production of fur. The production, but nobody talked about it because it was like 1956 or something like that. So who talks about it?
Are there people in Israel? I mean, are there people in Israel that wear fur? I mean, Israel is kind of a warm country relatively, and
yeah.
Aside from the status of wearing fur, because I think people were wearing fur more of the status rather than just, oh, I want to stay warm, because if they just want to stay warm, they can take a different jacket that is really warm. But I think it's more of a status thing.
Well, yeah, but we said now the status has completely changed. Once it was maybe a status, but now it's a status of a cruel heart, of ignorance, of of a cold heart. Yeah. Today the status is totally changed, but mostly of ignorance, because who would work for today? But yeah, there are a few. But, well, I won't say that. Of course, not many furs in Israel. But especially now that Gucci and Versace and all the big designer brands had banned it, so now no. But at the beginning when we started it, yeah, there was not as many abroad, but yes.
Yes,
and
because
of course,
go ahead.
Sorry. No, and of course the Shtreimel is a huge trouble because
for the religious people, that's right.
Yeah, that's why
that fur thing.
Yes, the Shtreimel, the big fur thing, yeah. And for 12 years, we couldn't pass it because the lobbyist and the furrier was working together with the religious parties. And but there is a very, very good solution about it. It's a synthetic Shtreimel fur, because it's not in the religion. It's not about religion. It's about tradition. By the way, I had it just here, Look, I want to show you something.
So wait, okay. So for those of you who are watching, for those of you who are joining us here, I'm speaking with Jane Halevy Moreno, and she is the founder of the Anti-Fur Coalition, the International Anti-Fur Coalition. And what we're talking about is a shtreimel, which is in Yiddish, and there is a certain section of a certain Jewish religious group that is wearing. It's Eastern Europe, Europe that is wearing
Yeah.
this shtreimel that you have, and that is made out of fur. What kind of fur? Now, by the way, is this what you're holding? Is this real or
No,
fake?
I want to say this is a synthetic one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a synthetic one. And yeah, I know you've never seen anyone with a, it's not for women, of course, but it
So if you
looks
put it on,
real.
it covers your face.
Yeah, that's why I need to, that's why I need to hold it,
Hold
right?
it. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, but
That's heavy also. I mean, you have to have kind of a good neck
yes,
muscles to hold it
yes,
up.
it's a little bit heavy, but really, I'm talking about something that is happening right now. There is someone in Bnei Brak
Okay.
who really like investigated all about shtreimels and how to make a fake shtreimel looking really real. Of course, there is already synthetic shtreimels, but it's really like making, that you cannot see the difference. It's like really, really hard work for 3 years. And I should meet him and to start to think together, like brainstorming
Well,
how
this
we
is,
can
yeah, no,
make it,
this is great. This is great because infiltrating the religious group. I mean, non-religious is one thing because they're they're meat eaters. It's one thing, but then not everybody. But infiltrating, so I call it infiltrating really, because you're going into a tradition that has been there for years and years
yes,
and generations and generations, and to tell them and to ask of them to change two things. I see here with the religious groups, I see two things. It's also the meat eating, because you want to bring to awareness, but good luck with that, because I don't know how. I mean, I wish for. I don't know how it can be possible, because in the religion, the meat
yes,
eating is a big part of the religion, and then to convince them to change their generational tradition of wearing fur streimels on their head.
yeah.
I mean how do you even start talking to somebody who is a meat eater for generations, and the religious, how do you even approach them?
So first, about the meat international anti-fur coalition, we know we don't have any information about veganism and in our website, because we don't want a mixing. Of course, I'm vegan all my life, and
Yeah.
and all my team, everybody is vegan, like the really everybody. But we have great vegan rabbis, like Rav Akiva.
Hmm.
It's really wonderful. I don't know if you know him. It's really
I
wonderful.
heard of him. I also saw a video actually, that they was
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
he made a video also for the Streimer and for many other things. It's
Yes.
to the vegan rabbi, and he's really amazing. And there is also Asakisa, who is a very good friend of mine, who also teach about like he's a religious, but still he knows how to talk. You need
Yeah.
to know how to get to
Yes.
and about Streimels. That's what I wanted to say, that when many people were very critical about the bill, saying, yeah, you passed the bill in Israel, but without the Streimers, and Streimers is like most of the fur. But what I want to say is, anyway, ultra-Orthodox do not do what bills, they're not listening to those politicians and bill. They have their own rules that they follow in their community. That's why the change needs to come from the community. We can tell them, no, you can't wear it, and that's
Yes,
not
you have
going to
to.
work.
Yeah, it will not work. It
Yeah,
will not work.
it won't work. No, it won't work at all. You
So
need more awareness.
Yes.
That's why I'm going to meet with this person in Nebrak to see how we can bring more awareness, maybe more people, wearing it, and then people who have, who are followed by religious leaders. That's
So
religious
how
leaders. There are many names.
so the first thing is that okay, you're going to talk about the stremels, about the fur of the stremel. But
Yeah.
now how are you even going to approach them with meat eating, or you're going to say let's do one thing at a time? Is that what you're
Yeah,
going
it's not going to be. Yeah, it's not going to be International Anti-Fraud Coalition or me approaching them, but because I don't think that that should be on the same. That's. I don't want to mix things,
Yeah, I
like you
get you.
said. Yeah,
I get you. You want
I
to
don't
get
want
one
to.
thing at a time. So let's talk about the stremel now.
Yeah,
Let's get this done. I think it's a great, it's a great initiative. It's a great thing to do. It's really, I
yeah.
for I
We
didn't think about
really
that,
need.
because it's true. Yeah, it's the fur. I'm thinking
Yeah,
about animal cruelty or meat eating and
wow, and that's
clothing, the coat and
yeah.
stuff like that. But the stremel, that's
Yeah, the Stramos, of course, and it's a. I mean, when I was at the Knesset, I had been in many community committees. Sorry,
committees. Yeah.
yes, in many committees at the Knesset, and we had a lot of talks about the Streimels, and for when we wanted to pass the bill for 12 years, so it's many committees, right? And every time, one thing that I can always remember is the screams. There are many screams. No, they want like that, and we want like that, and the animals, and a lot of emotions. And but
Yes.
when we talked about what about synthetic fur, for streamers, I can remember you could hear the flies. So the silence was amazing. Nobody was talking, and you could even hear the flies
Wow.
flying because
Because it
nobody
doesn't.
had to say it. Yeah,
It,
because nobody had to say anything. It was
yeah.
so true. Why not synthetic fur?
It's
What is
not.
the
It's not
problem?
affecting their tradition. It's not
Exactly.
about taking away from your tradition. It's not about challenging what you believe in.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
and they don't have a good reason. That's a great
And this
one.
I will remember all the time. This silence. This means, yeah, that's the right thing to do, right? If
Yeah.
nobody has anything to say about it, it's because there is nothing to say. So
Absolutely. There
that's
is
my
no. This is really great. This is really
yeah,
great. And so we're talking about animals. I remember also seeing videos of rabbis that are calling to be vegan
really.
because yeah, it was an investigative video that was undercover, made in Israel, in the meat factories industries, in where they bring the animals for slaughter, and they documented people that were working there and undercover. They documented how horrible the animals have been treated and were treated. And the rabbis said that there were many rabbis in this video that said
Yes.
really that the best thing to do is to be, some of them called vegetarian, some of them said vegan, because of the way the animal is treated. Now, here's the thing. I'm working and so you we're working to raise awareness, to
Yes.
bring to work, to come from a mindful operation of our life towards others and towards ourselves.
Yeah.
And what is happening in these factories, in these butcheriadas, if you will, is that the animals that hear their brothers, families, sisters, everybody is being slaughtered, the fear hormone goes into the meat, right?
Exactly.
Goes into the
Yes.
meat, and then we eat that. And then when we eat that, we're injecting that fear, we're injecting that, and then there are
Suffering. Yes,
all all
totally.
all
Yes.
kind of other things that can come out of it, all kind of sicknesses, all kind of things like. So Did you, in your fight to eradicate, let's say, meat
Yes.
eating or animal slaughtering, do you bring that fact that people are eating fear and are eating negative energy? Because maybe that's how people will listen. Because if you tell them, oh, don't kill the squirrel over there, but listen, if you're going to eat meat from these factories or from these places, or you're eating the fear and you're causing pain
You,
and
yeah,
suffering.
you are what you eat, right? You are
So
what you
do
eat.
you bring this in the way that you work?
Me, yes. First, this is the way I do it, about shining awareness and spreading the light about animal rights and about suffering, and more specifically about veganism. I
Hmm.
usually, when people ask me, why are you vegan? So I usually tell them how I went vegan. I was well, at first I went vegetarian. I was only 6 years old, and I was living next to a butcher.
Butcher,
So
yeah.
that was, yeah. And I was, since my very young child, since I was born, I think I loved animal. I always had like animals around me. I'd say like the girl, like Mowgli, but the girl version of Mowgli. And yeah, I was born in Israel until I was 2 years old. And when I was 2 years old, with my parents, we went to France. And
Okay.
then between my home and my school, um, we had a butcher there. And
Mm.
in France, it was terrible. Like you could see like the heads of the pigs,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah, yeah.
didn't understand that as a little girl. I was like, I was asking my parents, what did they do? Why? What did they do? Why? And also, I will always remember the butcher had always blood on him.
Yeah, because
And
he would slaughter the animals there.
yeah, and I was so disgusted, and I asked my parents, what is it? I thought maybe the animals did something wrong, something like that. I said, what happened? And when I understood, but of course my parents, they were eating meat and they didn't want to tell me to, yeah, those animals we eat, those animals, this theory, right? Yeah. So, but as soon as I understood that the hamburger was that, the
Mhm.
same animal, this cow,
Yeah, yeah.
I stopped eating animals and totally.
How did your
And
parents how did your parents react to that? I mean, here, how old were you again?
six,
Six.
six.
That's
Yeah,
that's
at the
interesting.
beginning, yeah, at the beginning they really tried, and but I had a partner in crime. I had I had a dog, and I was feeding him under the table, for a few months until they understood that there was nothing to do, that I was not going to eat any meat, and for me, and for me it was like cannibals. Like I thought that people were cannibals, that they were eating meat. I couldn't understand that, and I was telling my parents I can't eat animals because I love animals, and I just can't eat those I love.
Mm,
That was so simple. When you're a kid, like you think really like simple, but sometimes things are really simple. Like like we said, a dog lover would not eat a dog, so animals lover, how they would eat
that's
animals.
right.
And that's
That's
what
right.
I would say to my parents, that I love animals, I can't eat them, sorry. And 30 years, I think 13 or 14 years ago, I went vegan.
Wow.
Um,
Good for you.
yeah,
Good for
yeah,
you.
it took time because there was not a Google, and I thought that it was vegetarian, like not eating animals, and I wasn't making all the connection until one day. That's how I went from vegetarian to vegan. There was Danielle. By the way, Danielle was the person who brought Gary Yorovsky in Israel, and
Mm,
everybody made,
yes.
everybody, many people went vegan after Gary Yorovsky. So Danielle was behind the scenes. As I remember, oh yeah, there was an article about fur, and he called me and he said, "Okay, I gave your phone number to the journalist, and but please, I have a request, Jan. Don't say that you're vegetarian. Say that you're vegan." And that was for the first, I said, okay, of course, but that was for the first time. I felt ashamed, to be a vegetarian and not vegan. So I started to Google, the difference. And then I saw like I think, yeah, it was a video of, about the eggs industry. And the same day I went vegan. So I didn't have to lie to the journalist.
So
I said,
so
I'm
you
vegan.
so yeah, so you actually didn't have to lie. So you went from first of all, at age 6 you decided you're not eating meat,
Yes.
and you had quite a little bit of a quarrel with your parents, maybe like
Yeah.
disagreements, but they were not, but they allowed you to be there, right? They allow you to be.
Yes, but
They thought that maybe it's
something.
going to pass. They thought maybe it's going to.
Exactly, exactly. But something, Ilan, when I see it will never pass until my death. That's for
I
sure.
hear you.
Those videos that you see today sometimes of the little kids crying and say, "I won't eat it."
Yes,
The
yes, for
animal.
sure.
When I see those videos, I can see me. I was exactly like them, and I always cry when I saw
I hear you.
those videos because I understand when I see their eyes, they just don't understand. And me too. I said, my parents are intelligent. I mean, the people are, how they can't see the suffering, how they can't understand that. And when I look at their eyes, I remember because I was born 72, so it was like the 80s. We didn't have people filming us, but
Exactly, exactly.
I yeah. Oh my God! When I saw those videos, I'm like, oh, that was me. That was yeah.
Wow.
That's, I can
Oops.
feel their suffering.
Sorry, just a
Really,
second. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So no, this is really encouraging, and I know what you mean when your parents tried to thought that maybe it's temporary, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's
That's how it is.
temporary and stuff like that. And I remember because my daughter, she turned vegan when she was 9, right?
Yeah, it's also
Yeah,
very young.
yeah, very young, very young. And I remember at that time I was, I was teasing her at that time. Sometimes I still tease her, but tease her about that. But I know that it's not coming from it's not coming from a place of I want her to change. No, I want her to stay exactly how she is, because it is really our role, and it falls into, also when you're talking about human rights, it falls into our human right. I see that animal rights is
Yeah,
human rights, is human rights as well. It is tied hand in hand. I mean, just like as
correct.
said in the beginning, what we're doing to animals is what is
Yeah,
being done to us. It's the same thing.
totally,
I
totally. Of course.
consciously, and with all what is happening now, and the
That
control,
we're all
the
connected. Also, that we are
everything is
all
connected.
connected. Yeah,
I love this image. I don't know where this image is from, but you have it on your website, and I want to share
yeah.
this image. um I want to share.
Oh, ego, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
it's the
mine. I don't
exactly.
know. I'm sorry, I don't know who to credit, but if someone knows, I'd like to know,
It's
and
this
we
one.
will add the
There
credit.
you go.
Yeah,
The ego versus eco, where the ego is a pyramid scheme, where there is always somebody who makes money on the expense of somebody else. There's always somebody who is profiting on the expense of somebody else. Doesn't matter if the somebody else is healthy, sick. Actually, Western medicine, if you look at it, Western medicine
yeah,
is not here to make us healthier. It's to keep us sicker, so we can
yeah,
give them more money, or give them more the power that they want. Where versus the ego, the eco, where everything is connected, where you take one piece out of the equation and everything is ruined. And you look at Earth, and this is a great image. I just love this. I just
yeah.
love this
It's amazing.
this
This is
image.
so true. Like, the best allegory about ego and echo. You always hear the people who don't want to make any change. So they say, "Oh, we're at the top of the food chain." How many times I heard that? We
Yeah,
are on
this
the top
is
of the. No, wait. But when someone, people will find excuses, but but I think that today, yeah, there is so much more like awareness. I can feel it. I can, even when as a makeup artist, at the beginning we're always like a team, and we're
Mm-hmm.
about, let's say, 15% each time we have a production.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I was the only one who was ordering, vegan food. I was the only one, and maybe then two, three. Now I think we're about like five, six. Uh,
Oh wow.
Vegetarian or vegan. They order or vegan or vegetarian food. But at the beginning, I was really the only one. So even
So
just that, I can
so
see.
you don't eat eggs, you don't eat honey,
Yes, and of course, no cheese,
no cheese.
no eggs,
But okay,
no.
so here is I can understand, and this is just for sake of argument, okay? I can understand maybe, let's say you're saying, okay, I don't want to eat eggs because those chickens are being bred, are being pumped with all kind of stuff. And I've seen chickens that have that they suddenly look like turkeys because
Yeah,
of all the hormones and how they're sick and how where their
horrible.
or their all their organs are just like so I can get that. I get that. But honey, for example, honey is not honey is it's a natural occurrence of what the bees are doing. Now, aside from the fact that the honeybees are extinct are considered an extinct species now,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. Um,
terrible.
so
Um, yeah, sorry.
yeah, no, it's okay. So why, for example, honey not? Why wouldn't you
Yeah.
eat honey, for example?
Well, first, I want to say something, but that's also about honey. We have like alternatives for everything. Like
That's true.
honey,
You're
we
right.
have Silan. So I
You're right.
love Silan. I eat Silan, and who needs honey?
That's right.
Like
You're right.
yes,
You're
and
right.
like people say you don't eat cheese. Yeah, but I eat vegan cheese. You don't drink milk. Yeah, but I
But I have
but I
oat
have
milk or
vegan milk.
rice milk or whatever.
Exactly, rice
Yeah.
milk. We have like all kinds of milks, like, and everything that non-vegan people have, vegan people have, like everything, from hamburger
Yeah.
to people say, but why do you, they don't like it, the fact that it's called the same. Why a vegan person wants a vegan hamburger? Why not calling it something else? Which I think, yeah, why not? But that's, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's, I think that's already going into details that are, people are just looking for excuses. Why don't call it something else?
yeah, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter how you call it, how you, I
I
just
hear
don't
you.
want to eat, right? I just don't want to eat the
I hear
suffering.
you. So now, people that are, so how are you working with people that, for example, yes, there are meat eaters. Do
Yes.
you work with people that are meat eaters and yet are working for the sake of the animals? I mean, have you seen somebody like that?
No, I don't remember. No, maybe we had once a graphic designer who did something, like credit, anti-fur poster, but no, but like 99%, 98% of all the people I've been working with, and it's years now,
Yeah.
right? All vegans,
Okay.
and not today it's vegan, once maybe vegetarian, but now they're all vegans. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I want to, if you're joining us right now, I want to introduce again. My guest is Jane Halevi Moreno. She is an activist, a makeup artist. She is for human rights, no less and no more than she is for animal rights. And we've been talking about the impact of the animals that are suffering. Your website is Anti-Fur Coalition.
Yes, it's yes, it's antifurcoalition.org.
Dot
Antifur.
org dot org. You also have a YouTube channel, and you have there over
Well,
160. Well, you
yeah,
have,
but the
listen, but you have there you have there a song that we're going to show
yeah, that
shortly.
would be great.
And you have
But
over
I would like it,
160,000 views.
yes, yes, a lot of views. But I would like people to join us on our Facebook page, which is International Anti-Fraud Coalition. This is the Facebook.
Everything is listed down here as we're speaking.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, because there we update everything. All's going on, all the updates are there, so that would be great.
Okay,
and the song we've done for
So let's talk about this song. Let's talk about this song. You call the song "Skinned Alive." So tell us, tell us about the song. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's graphic. So, but maybe sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need that jolt. Sometimes we need that push to make us realize, to make us understand what we're doing. You know.
But
tell us about the
it's
song.
That's really, I understand that you say graphic. It is graphic, but it's like nothing compared to the real images that we put there. It's like Disney, right?
Wow.
We've done this song because we wanted like a song that calls for bring up people together, and the fact of let's get together, let's get united. And that's why we've done that song. And I love this song because it's really, until now, it's like it's something that I know also that this song had helped giving like boosting, many activists around the world doing protests, and that been playing it in protest or after protest, just to relax, sit back, relax, and it's like it's something. It's one of the international coalition project that I really like. Yes, so I'm happy you're going to
So and now you have there a singer. Who's the singer?
Her name is Noah Lambersky. She's an Israeli singer.
Yeah,
but she was in New York, so I don't know if she's in Israel or not. But she's wonderful. Yeah, she's got a voice. She's amazing.
So great. Thank you very much. So here is Skinned Alive.
It's not a bad dream, it happens in real life. They tear off our skin while we are still alive. Why do they take our souls away for coats to wear on winter days? We are scared and afraid, facing our death alone, standing in a line, waiting for our turn. Look into our eyes, we feel pain just like you, but we cannot talk, that's why we need you. Let's get together, let's give them a voice. Get up, stand up, let's make that choice. The animal rights revolution starts. We will fight for the beating heart. We have to answer their cry to survive. Let the animals stay beautiful, alive. Born into deprivation, short life in a tiny cell, misery and isolation, angels forgotten in hell. Our bodies laid aside, our bones are thrown, and now our death is ready to be worn. No protection and no explanation to this deadly pain, humiliation. We have only you.
So wow, that is quite powerful. And you actually told me a story behind the scenes of ego thing,
Yes,
of you guys were arguing which coat she should wear or what she should wear, and then you decided to go, you
yeah,
know what, nothing.
I was not in the argue, but yeah, the stylist with the production, the producer, they were like arguing if she should wear a red dress or a green dress, and that really huge fight going on there.
Uh,
And then we said, uh, why not?
yeah,
You know what? It's too much. It was already late. It was about midnight. Say, maybe you should be without any dress, and that's
uh,
it. Like
that's
maybe
the
you
best. Skin and fur is the same. It's the
yeah,
same.
and I think it was a good yeah, that was a good decision.
It's
Yes.
it's it's a very good decision. You know, I read that one of the sentences that you like to say is that that we're really, and it is true, we're really renting space here on Earth. We're really living here on rental. And how do we treat this beautiful, you know, we received, I mean, I know that you know that, and it's like preaching to the choir, but it's for those who are listening. We received here a perfectly harmonious earth. Everything is here for us. Everything is here for everybody. There is abundance for everybody, whether it is medicinal plants for us to use, whether there are everything is here. Everything is here, and we are actually renting. I don't know what happens when you rent a place and you trash the place. You pay
That
you pay a fine. And so I feel that we are now paying for everything that we have done. You know, me included. When I used to smoke in Israel, I remember I used to throw the buds on the streets, just like everybody would do there. You know, Israel is one of the most, at least the countries that I've seen, a very dirty country. Everything is trash. Everything, there is disregard, disrespect for earth, for trash. It's just, and so and so and so seeing this sentence of yours of renting, we live here and rent, is so accurate. You know, it's
I
really.
always yeah, it's like activism should be our rent. Yeah, that's the way we should give back. And that's what I'm thinking, that if everybody was doing even just a little thing that they can do, the ripple effect is huge.
So
The
let's talk
ripple
about ways that you think people can slowly, in their own way of doing things, maybe bring to a change in their way, because you're talking about different kinds of activism. Maybe you can also talk about what activism is, what you're talking about: activism, artivism, there's
yes,
passive, you know. So maybe you can talk about the different ways, and they can reach out to you, people can reach out to you.
sure. So yeah, there are different kinds of activism. Not all of us are the same activists. First, there is, of course, the activism that we all know, which is really like going to protest
The proactive
and
one. The proactive one.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah, exactly. That's the activism that everybody know when we're talking about activists. But there is also like passive activism, online activism, when you think it's nothing, but it can be a lot, to share petitions, to bring awareness, even to wear a T-shirt with a slogan like like meat is murder or whatever. Then people start to talk about it. Even a tattoo.
Yeah.
I have a tattoo on my I have a tattoo on my leg, which I can't show right now with the frame, but it's 269. And you know what's 269? It was it's still 269 life. It's a metaphoric number for the animals who are killed in the food industry.
Oh,
Sasha,
I
bonjour.
did not know that. I did not know that.
I know you didn't know it. It's called 269 Life. It's a 269 Life in France and in a
Why
few countries.
269? Why 269?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you.
Ah,
And
okay.
Sasha Bonjour is an activist in Israel, and he's the one who founded this great organization. And I had a tattoo 269. There are many people with a tattoo 269.
Huh.
269 represents um, a veal that was saved. A veal, with the earring, and it's written the number 269 on the kilo, So I will show you pictures. I will
I see.
send it. And that's a metaphoric number of animal dying and suffering killed, not dying, sorry, horribly killed in the food industry. So even a tattoo, and then people start talking, what is 269? And then you start to talk, and it's really like the conversation is fluent, And also you have artivism, which is art and activism. And I have many friends who are doing artivism. Larry Toro, that I was talking to you about, is so talented, a friend of mine, is doing artivism. What I'm doing, I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, I have many makeup effects that I've done on myself. This is also artivism. Just to say something, just not, a picture, but you're saying something with the picture. And so this is artivism. And so you have all this kind of activism. And also you have to always remember that whenever you do something, you think maybe it's a small thing, but no, this thing has a ripple effect. You don't know how many persons are going to be influenced by by your deeds, And that's why I always encourage people to do something, even if you think it's nothing. No, it's a lot. You need to move little stones until you get all the mountains moved, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, you need to move all little stones, and all stones count. By the way, I've done a page on Facebook, which is called Rosa Parks Wannabes.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So
is this on your Facebook or
no, if you do, yeah, I opened it from my Facebook, and I called it Rosa Parks Wannabes. To be honest, I haven't been really active with this page, but the reason why I created this page is to encourage people, if they have any idea or something that they want to start, or
Rosa Parks wannabes.
Yeah,
movement.
Exactly.
I found
it. You found
That's
it.
cool.
Yes,
yeah.
So it's I felt like to be like a platform for people to write to me. If they have an idea. It can be about it can be about human rights, animal rights, but to do something good.
Yes. Here, I want to share with you something for the something that I saw here.
Yes.
That I saw here in let me close this. That I saw here in LA, that I really liked, and I'm sure that you will like that as well. Let's see. Let me show you this. Where is it? No.
You saw it in Los Angeles?
Yeah. I saw it in Los Angeles, and there we go.
Do I look like your mother? Yeah, it's very
right. It's by Pita, right? It. Do I look like your mother? Like it's not your milk. Leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good. That's a good one. I love it.
Yeah, and there are a bunch of them. What we're doing now, I hope this reaches many people, and if this speaks to you, if you had, if you just look at your life, to those who are listening, just look at what is happening now. Just look at how we as humans are being herded by global control. By global control. This is the same thing that is happening to when we are treating animals, when we eat them, actually. Let alone think about the energy, the energetic trash that we are eating, because what happens is when animals are being hurled into slaughter, they hear one another crying for help. That energy, that hormone is going into the meat, and then you eat the meat, and when you eat the meat, you become it.
Exactly.
You become it. So it's really
by the way, one of the best way to stop any pandemics is by going vegan, you know.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's so obvious, but people won't talk about it too much, right? But
People don't want to. They don't want. Many people don't want to depart from what they're familiar with, and that's a natural. That's a kind of a natural behavior of the human mind. Why don't we want to excel and to do new things? Because we're familiar with the old. Where our mind likes to go back to what it knows. They don't
yeah,
want to
but there
change.
is there is no growth in comfort, right? That's why we always
Hmm.
need to go outside of our comfort zone, right? And
That's right. That's right.
yeah,
That's right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
yeah,
right.
that's the
This has been
thing.
a
But of course, if the all the world, you know, was going vegan, so I'm sure that because I'm sure that the, you know, like it's Corona, tomorrow it's another one, another. There is, I mean, there is. If we don't change all our habits and especially food habits, it's never going to change, you know.
well, it's
So
never
today
going to
it's called
change.
Corona, tomorrow it will be, you know.
That's true. I personally, but not only, I personally think that the Quranic era is not a natural
Yeah,
a natural occurrence. It has been engineered to do certain things, to keep us
yeah,
in a mindless operation, and to eliminate, to clean society from people that they don't want to take care of, and to liquefy society. So I don't feel that this is organic, but nevertheless, it is here, and we're being treated like that. And how we treat the animals, and how we treat and for what purpose? Now you can have the argument and say, okay, well, if you want to eat, you're eating, okay, but for fur, for that. I remember in the 90s when I came to the US, actually when I came to Kansas, when I came to Kansas in the 90s, I remember people there having fur there, and they were
right,
boasting about that, right? They were boasting about having fur and about the coats. Now get that, people who have real fur coats, they cannot just put it at home. They have
right,
they
right.
have to have they have to pay for special storage to keep it in a special temperature, so
Yeah,
the fur doesn't,
yeah, it's crazy. But you know,
you know.
at the 90s, I think it was the pita ads. You know, I'd rather go naked than wear fur. That was,
Yeah,
yeah, in the 90s. Now,
yeah,
now we're saying we'd rather ban the sale the sale of fur than go naked, because because you know
it's more
once,
interesting.
yeah, because you know once you had all those posters about fur is cruel and but that was true. That it, of course, it's always true. But now we're trying to take it forward, you know, and to say no, when you've got protest against fur, don't just have posters where it's written fur is cruel and fur, you know, no, but ask for bans, you know, ask to ban the sale of fur in your own city, in your own country.
Yes.
That's the way to go.
To
That's the way to go.
give you an example, in 2018, and you wrote it also on your website. In 2018, Greta Thunberg, uh, in her school,
Yeah,
she created a huge protest that really eventually turned into a youth global
yeah,
anti fur movement.
yeah,
But she came actually from a climate trying to save the climate
yeah. That's
and the
what I was
global
going to
climate.
say. More about climate. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
But
but
true.
she was also, I remember she was also talking about the cruelty to animals, and how we're treating everybody, and the
Yeah.
emissions that we produce, and so forth. This is fascinating. I mean, we can talk about this
Yes.
all day.
What I would say to people who want to start something like a movement, or you know, or have any ideas to that would make the world a better place, just not to listen to voices that say you won't be able to do it, and all the no, you know.
Talking to our comfort kind of thing.
Yes, I've heard a lot. No, it's not possible. It's impossible. No. Impossible is the opinion of someone. It's not
Exactly. That's
it's
perfect.
the opinion of someone. Yeah.
That's perfect. Impossible is an opinion of somebody else.
Exactly. It's not a fact.
That's
So
wonderful.
don't be discouraged by those voices. Just believe in your idea, and it will happen. That I'm sure.
That's wonderful. That's so wonderful. Jane, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much
You're so
for
welcome. Thank you. It was very
coming
amazing talking to you, Ilan.
coming on. Thank you for sharing this and for sharing this so much needed all around compassion and kindness and understanding that. Yeah, that's been wonderful.
My pleasure. And
Yeah.
if anyone wants to communicate or ask questions about the bills, or you want to start like that, that would be amazing. If someone who's watching us would like to start to introduce a bill to ban the sale of fur in its own city, country, or council. So please contact me, but don't contact me on the pages because so many that I won't see.
So where should somebody contact you if they really want to create a change in their local cities and so forth?
So the best would be to contact me on Halevi Jane, my profile page. I don't know if
On
you're going to
Facebook,
link.
your profile on Facebook?
Yes, the
Okay.
messenger. I will see.
Okay, I'll
Yes.
put here your Facebook and your website are all here.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
please reach out to Jane, or if you know me and you reach out to me, I'll connect between you two, and we can do this. This is the purpose. This is the purpose of this program, is to empower people, not just in their gifts that are expressing themselves in the gifts, but this is also a gift to express others who cannot speak, who don't have this
Yes.
a godly gift of speech.
Yes.
We are their ambassadors. So yes, so reach out to Jane here on the website, on the Facebook, and or to me, and I'll connect between you. This is great. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear Jane. Thank you, wonderful, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, me too.
And
Thank you very much.
thank you, everyone,
Thank you,
for
Ilan.
watching. This is Abracadabra, create what you speak. I'm iLan Azoulai. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Abracadabra, create what you speak with iLan Azoulai.